Peace. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, top of the day. Cheers and a hearty God bless you to you. It is Sharia coming to you live on this Monday. Was it July 24th, 2023? I'm coming to you this Monday from my live from my living room floor because it's one of them kind of days. I just finished my hair and it's a lot going on. So, yes, I'm coming to you live from my living room floor to talk to you about the importance of self care during a tragedy. Self care essentials, nurturing your mind, body, and soul in times of tragedy. But before we get there, let me go again and welcome you. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, whether you are live or gonna watch the replay. Thank you so much. And matter of fact, if you're watching the replay, can you please comment and let us know where you are watching from? For those of you who may not know, my name is Sharia. I am a praying woman of faith. I am a loyal wife since 1989, pastor's wife since 2006. I am a mother of 3 adult daughters, a grandmother to 1 grandson who is very, very curious. I am a detox nurse by trade and an author of 3 books, a prayer journal, a beginner's prayer manual, and workbook. Check the link, check the description for the links to those. But yeah, published author. I can add that to my I was thinking about it. I was like, why haven't I talked about that? But yes, published author as well. And so I bring all those perspectives here to talk about self care, self love um, in 2023. And 2023 is all about the E. E for empower, E for encourage, and E for elevate. And for those of you who may not know, I recently lost my first cousin, Jonathan, aka Big J, in a tragic car accident. So last week, I just, I just could not come live last Monday. So I apologize for that, but I did post a link in the community section for you all to watch um, and catch up on the replay of all the other lives that we have done. We've done quite a few. I think there's over 20 over there. So I posted that link for that. But yes, we're going to get into the importance of, and I made cue cards because I want to keep myself on track. So we have done welcome to the Self Care, Self Love with Sharia channel. Intro, I told you who I am, praying woman of faith. Again, bringing all those perspectives to the table to share with you the importance of self-care as a whole on this channel. But today we are focusing on self-care and its importance during times of tragedy. And regardless of what walk of life you may find yourself in, what path, what journey you might find yourself on, there's tragedy everywhere. So if you know someone who is walking through a tragic circumstance, please share this with them. Go ahead and click share and send the link, text the link out to them, or share it to your social media platforms. We have been blessed with over 50,000 views. I think this channel really started being active maybe about 3 or 4 months ago. And we are grateful for all the subscribers and all the viewers. And our next goal is 100,000 to hit 100,000 views. So if you can help us with that by, like I said, hitting share and sending the link out to, texting the link out to a friend who may be going through a tragedy, or you know someone who's going through a tragedy, share this on your social media platforms as you so choose. So before we go any further, I would like to shout out some specific companies. I left on Thursday, the 20th, I believe it was, and came back yesterday, Sunday, the 23rd. My plane landed at around 12:30, and it was a pleasurable experience given the tragic circumstances surrounding my cousin's death or transition. I'm not ready to say that word yet. Transition. How about that? But it's some companies that I want to shout out. First of all, because when you're traveling specifically to bury a loved one or to put to rest a loved one, like that's a stressful time, and the least time you need things to go wrong. But I'm glad to sit here and report and say that that was not the case here. That these following companies went above and beyond in um, providing service during this time. Okay, that's better. Okay, all right. So it was in green screen mode. That's why you're seeing that. But I just want to bring this microphone closer to make sure that you all can hear me. Hello there. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Let me know where you're watching from. I really, really appreciate that. Engage with the content in some way. I know some people like to just watch, but engage with the content some way to let the algorithm know that this content is something that you enjoy and that you like. You can let me know what the weather is. You can click on one of the links in the description. Just interact with the content in some way. But I would love to warmly welcome you and greet you to the live. So go ahead and comment in the comment section and let me know what the weather is. I just came from the Texas heat. Lord have mercy. Texans, I don't know how y'all do it. Texans, I don't know how y'all do it. I do not know how y'all do it. It seemed over here in California, it seemed as like the hours go by, it gets cooler. But in Texas, that's not the case. It seems as the hours go by, it gets hotter. So shout out to all the Texans out there that are able to tolerate the heat and not necessarily just the heat, but the humidity in Texas. Thank you so much for watching, Tana from San Pablo. There she is. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. You are a loyal supporter of the channel, and I so much appreciate it. And thank you for always watching, always commenting. Thank you. Whether it's nice, a perfect day with a breeze. Absolutely. After church, when I landed yesterday, she's so right. When I landed yesterday, and I went straight to our House of Faith to participate and keep my assignment in the House of Faith. And afterwards, I stepped outside and it was a breeze. And so I just sat down and enjoyed that breeze. I mean, because there was no breeze in Texas, that weather. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you so much, Sister Tana. Shout out. I need to shout out because when you are traveling, like I said, when you are traveling, it's already stressful. But when you are traveling and you have the purpose in mind to lay a loved one to rest, is a little bit more stressful. So I wanted to shout out these particular companies. Alaska Airlines. I had never flown on Alaska Airlines before. I had heard about them, but they did a fantabulous job from beginning to end. I enjoyed my flight. We didn't have any issues. Well, we did have an issue, but it was taken care of very speedily, and the flight was good. The takeoff was good. The landing was good. So thank you so much to Alaska Airlines and all the employees that work together to make that airline functioning and doing well. God bless you. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. I see you. Let us know where you're watching from. Also, National Car Rental. They are a favorite of mine. They have the executive area where you just literally walk to the area, pick a car, and drive off. I'm not exaggerating. That's what they do. And hello there, Mr. H.O. Scale. So I stepped out of my box. Usually I'll get some type of SUV, or some type of SUV. That's normally what I get. But I stepped out the box and got a Charger. I got a charger, a black charger. It was very what they call it, a muscle car. So I was driving around the streets of Dallas in a muscle car. Thanks to National. Thank you so much. That is always a pleasurable experience dealing with National. If you have to ever, I highly recommend them. Yeah, like I said, whatever they have cars that are available with the keys in them. You pick a car, you literally pick the car, put your stuff in there, drive, and give them your driver. Go to the exit, give them your driver license, your card, whichever one you're gonna use, and drive off. It's literally that simple. Hyatt Regency Dallas. Anybody that knows. Let me highlight HO scale. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. This show may be two parts because I have quite a lot to say. I have quite a lot to say, and I don't know if I'm going to get it all in one live stream. But I absolutely have to shout out these people, these businesses. Hyatt Regency Dallas. This was a very, very, very nice hotel. They have an absolutely stunning waterfall feature in the lobby of this place. It actually extends from the lobby up to the second floor and over into the restaurant area. Very, very, very nice. They had some type of police officer, law enforcement conference going on. They had a Mary Kay conference going on. Lots of things going on there. We felt awfully safe, given that there was lots of undercover law officers wandering around. But that water feature was absolutely therapeutic for me. Anybody that know me know I love the water. I love the sound of water. It instantly relaxes me. So to walk into that hotel and see that and hear that, I instantly was relaxed. It was a huge blessing. The service was great. The rooms were very, very clean. I want to give a shout out to one of the housekeepers, Tammy. She came to the door and she knocked on the door and she was like, I want to make sure you guys are okay. Do you need me to clean your room? And I was like, no, we're good. You don't need to clean the room. And she was like, are you sure? She's like, well, you at least need some towels. Let me give you some towels. So she gave us some towels and she said, I want to make sure, it's Friday. It was a Friday afternoon. And she said, I'm not going to be working on the weekend. And I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. So shout out to Tammy, who was a housekeeper over there at the Hyatt Regency Dallas. Shout out to the Hyatt Regency. You guys did and had awesome service. Thank you so much. You made this difficult time more smoother and more pleasurable experience. Thank you. Evergreen Memorial Funeral Home. If you are in Dallas, Texas, and you ever have someone that perishes, you must use Evergreen Memorial Funeral Home Service. Now, I know that there are a lot of other funeral home services. I've seen them. But this particular company has multiple things to put their signature. Absolutely fantabulous. This company, funeral home, I cannot say enough. Good things. 5-star. My cousin looked absolutely fabulous, considering it was a head-on collision and he had suffered trauma to the head. You could not see it. He looked like he was asleep. So they did a fantabulous job with the viewing, everything that they did, the program. I've never seen a program like this, folded like this, but this was my cousin's program that they did. Okay. This absolutely beautiful program. They had this. I have to shout them out. I have to. They did an absolutely fantabulous job dealing with the family, just dealing with everything that was going on. Absolutely fantabulous. I wish they had some in California, but they don't. Shout out to them. Shout out to Pappadeux Restaurant, Pappadeux Seafood Kitchen. Lord have mercy. If you ever go to Texas, listen, shout out to Texans. Shout out in the comments and let these folks know about how good Pappadeux Seafood Kitchen is. I'm everything was good. My husband and I went there um, during one of the times I was going back and forth with my dad, and it was fantastic. It was so good we had to go back again. That's how good Pappadough's was. The food was it's like a restaurant chain, but it's dealing with like southern Cajun style seafood. So I had the shrimp and grits with big old huge jumbo shrimps like this. My sister had something with the cracked crabs, salmon and shrimp, and some kind of Thai noodles. It was a brand new dish. My cousin, who I was so fortunate to be able to spend time with, she had fried catfish and smothered some kind of uh, um, braised spinach. It was good. And some French fries. I think it was absolutely good. The service was good. The wait was just they said 45 minutes, but it was not 45 minutes. It had maybe it was 20 minutes at that in the heat in the rush, dinner time. So shout out to them. And then Delta brought me back home um, without any incident. I'm just thankful. I've had some horrible experiences on airlines. Well, I take that back. Love Field Airport. I had some issues with y'all, but I'm not going. This is a shout out, a good shout out. So to be continued on that. Okay. So inspirational quote. I'm going to move on to the rest of this segment. Um, inspirational quote. I want to put out again an inspirational quote to encourage, to inspire, to elevate, because that's what this channel is about. And the inspirational quote I'm going to give is by myself, Sharia Smith. This was not designed to kill you, but to make you stronger, better, wiser, so you can pay it forward to the next person. Yes, it's a difficult. You may be going through a tragedy. You may be have tragic walking through tragic circumstances, but the Lord allowed you to come to it and come through it so that you can share and help the next person. Because oftentimes we ask, why am I going through this? And so it's a reason why it's making you better, it's making you stronger, it's making you wiser, so that you can help the next person that's coming through that situation. So that is our inspirational quote for today by SSS. Also, during this, I'm all about giving, no matter what walk of life you may be on, tools and resources to have in your toolkit available and ready for when tragedy happens, when difficult circumstances happen, when stuff arises, so that we can be on the ready. We can be ready instant in season, whatever the season may be. Because I'm a firm believer that we don't plan to fail. We fail to plan, have things ready and available. So the next thing I want to talk about is nurture your mind. And there's a scripture in the good book that talks about having the mind of Christ, to think on things that are lovely, that are pure, that have a good report, if there's any virtue, any praise, to think on those things, think on these things. And, we want to, because you can be when tragedy hits, it can be very stressful. It can be very overwhelming. We can have, our thoughts could be running, could be scattered. We can be, just our minds are not necessarily as the sharpest they could be. And so we want to just surround ourselves with positivity, whether it's by our favorite songs, those lyrics, favorite music. You might have instrumental music that you like, whatever your flavor is, whatever ministers to you, brings you comfort and peace. You want to have that type of music surrounding you on play, on repeat. I always encourage everybody on the channel to have a music playlist. You have your playlist of may want to call it relaxation or prayer or meditation or work or whatever it is. But I strongly encourage you also to have scriptures. Right now, you can go to any like Bible.com, Bible Gateway, and when you look up the scripture, they also have a feature where you can actually play that scripture. So I'm just giving suggestions on how we can keep ourselves motivated during the time of tragedy, tragic loss, to nurture ourselves, to keep ourselves focused, centered. And I know it's hard, when you're going through different things, you may have a belly full of tears, your heart may be breaking, it just is a difficult time, down, sadness, depressed. We're human, we're human beings, we bleed, we cry, we hurt. Sometimes people don't think that. Sometimes people think people just superhuman, or can move in insensitivity. But yes, yoga is another good thing we can do. I'm a firm believer in dynamic stretches. Dynamic just says stretches that move. So, for example, this would be considered a dynamic stretch. This would be considered a dynamic stress. Dynamic stretch. So, stretching absolutely is good. Releases the endorphins. Um, Deep breathing. And people might say, well, why deep breathing? Because oxygen, when you deep breathe, you're bringing oxygen to the blood. You bring oxygen to the blood, which helps the brain and all the other organ functions normally. So, and I've talked about this before on the channel, 555 deep breaths. So you just in for 5 seconds, and that belly should be rising. Hold for 5 seconds. Release for 5 seconds. Again, in for 5 seconds. Hold for 5 seconds. Release for 5 seconds. So do 5 cycles of that, and you should begin to feel your body release. You should begin to feel that oxygen begin to flow through your body, giving your brain the oxygen it needs to function at its optimum level. So again, yoga, stretching, deep breathing. You can have your faith quotes. You can have scriptures. You can have aromatherapy. A lot of times people say we eat with the eyes and the nose first, because you see it and you smell it before you even eat it, and it affects you, and it's absolutely true. And so yes, and yes, and yes, aromatherapy, whatever your favorite scent is, whether it's the scent of walking in nature, um, good food, a meal. Here we have Tana saying something. I am so glad you are sharing about this. This is so needed. Really important strategies to make sure to take care of yourself when a tragedy has occurred. Tana, you are so right. And I would humbly submit that even if you are not a partaker or a person who does quote unquote self care, and you may call it something else, I'm calling it self care, but you may call it something else. But if you don't do it no other time, when you are walking through a tragedy, it is most important. If you don't do it no other time, we must do it during uh, during a tragedy. And my family can testify. I have the same music song playing on repeat. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I will have scriptures. The loss of my cousin, I was praying and, trying to hear like what is going on here from above, from the Lord. And the scripture that came to me was, it is appointed unto every man to die. And that was encouraging to me in the respect that all of us have a day where we're going to have to leave this earth. We don't know when and we don't know how, but all of us have a day. So that brought me courage. Okay. And then there's the scripture in Isaiah 61 where he talks about giving beauty, receiving beauty for in the midst of ashes, and the oil of joy for the spirit of heaviness. Those two scriptures have absolutely been carrying me through since July 7th, 2023. So yes, 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 it's so, 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 so important. I know there'll be a lot going on, a lot pulling on us. We carry a lot, but it's so important, even if it's just for, 5 or 10 minutes, that we do this for our mental health, emotional health, for all the health, for all the health, for all the health. Okay. I forgot to turn my phone off. I'm sorry. But yes, yes, yes. I have said this before and I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Yes, and yes, and yes. Song of the day. I think we're gonna do song of the day segment. Move on into that. And again, sound off in the comments and let me know what you do to nurture your mind during a tragic during tragic circumstances. In this case, we're talking about loss of a loved one, but it could be a multitude of things. You and I all know there's so much tragedy going on in the world today. So sound on up in the comments and let me know what you do to take care of yourself, to get you might not call it that. You may say getting it through. I've talked to people about self-care and they don't necessarily call it. So when I talk to them and begin to have a conversation, a lot of times they are doing this, but they don't call it that. They say, well, I was just doing what I had to do to get through. I was just doing what I had to do to survive. So I wouldn't lose my mind. So I wouldn't have a nervous breakdown. This is what I did. This is how I got through it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is called self-care. So we're going to move on to song of the day, song of the day, song of the day. And I think I'm going to share it with you. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to share it with you. I think that I mentioned this before. And you can see the screen right here. This is a song that I heard several weeks last month, June 24th, on the It's Time tour worship experience at the Masonic. I would play it, but I don't want the algorithm police to come for me and give me no strikes. But it's Michael W. Smith. Surrounded is the CD that it's on, and this is how I fight my battles. And I'm here on YouTube Music. I love YouTube Music because you can do right. You can and you can pull up the lyrics. So if you're a visual person like me and you like to see it, you can also have the option to look and see other songs that are related to this, and that's very helpful if you're trying to create a relaxation playlist, or there's one song that you keep hearing in your head, and you want to build a playlist around that, but you don't really know. This is a great feature, and why I love YouTube Music, because you can look over here and find more music that is similar. They have recommended songs here, other playlists that other people have put together. that you might like to listen to with other music to expose yourself, to soothe your soul, soothe your mind, nurture your spirit while you are going through a tragedy. So the song of the day for me, I said it before, and it continues to be on repeat. Michael W. Smith, Surrounded. This is how I fight my battles. I absolutely love this song, and it has been carrying me through since. Uh, I love the song. I love the lyrics. It's not normally something that I would listen to, but these are not normal circumstances. These are not circumstances we're going through right now. So yes and yes and yes. Let me know what your song of the day is. Shout out, share in the comments what song you are listening to during this season of your life that is helping you, encouraging you, empowering you, and elevating you. Share with the community and let the community know. Sound off in the comments. Next is we're going to move on to prioritizing your body. Prioritizing your body. Prioritizing your body. Prioritizing your body. Because there's a saying that says if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will. Doesn't mean that people don't love you. Doesn't mean that people won't support you. But people will only do what you allow them to do. People will do, they'll follow your lead. So if they see you taking time for your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, investing in yourself, making sure that you are doing whatever it takes so that you don't lose your mind, go cuckoo, fly over the cuckoo nest, uh, whatever it is you want to say or call it, they will respond. Now, they may not like it, and that's fine. They may not agree. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother conversation. But I want to talk about physical here. Find one thing that, and you've heard me say this before on the channel, it may sound repetitive, but repetition is the mother of all learning. That's what they told us in nursing school. To give a reason why they would drill down on us. Repetition is the mother of all learning. We don't care if you heard it before. If you heard it, then do it. If you heard it, then master the skill. And so that we can go on, right? So that's the way it was in nursing school, and that's what I refer back to often because it was one of the hardest things. I would say the top 3 hardest things I've ever done in my life was going back to nursing school. I had a goal to be a nurse by 50, and once I set that in motion, I had a goal to become a nurse by 50, and by the grace of God, I was able to accomplish that goal. So, yes, Tana's talking again and sharing the comments. I'm still listening to all the songs from the concert, especially Take Me to the King. I also loved I'm Surrounded. Yes, and yes, and yes. Tamla Man, Naomi. Oh my gosh. You're going to get me off track. That It's Time tour was absolutely amazing. I don't like to call it a concert, and I think it's right to call it a tour. They went across the country. Um, it was 6 women: Amy Grant, Naomi Rain. Oh my gosh, Tamla Man, Tasha Cobbs Leonard. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna get off. Yes and yes, but I understand. Yeah, I understand. I created a playlist with all those ladies called the It's Time tour playlist. So yes and yes and yes. I was actually looking for the version that was sung at that, but I couldn't find that version. So the closest to it was Michael W. Smith from what I saw. But yes, 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 I appreciate that and I understand. And glad to know I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that will play a song for multiple days and weeks on repeat. Yes, you got to do what you got to do to survive, to keep that faith strong, right? To build up your faith, to encourage yourself. It takes courage to go through these tragedies. And oftentimes you don't realize how strong we really are until we are in the midst of the fire. Me and my husband was talking one day, and we were saying, there are things that you can learn in a learned environment, aka school, Sunday school, nursing school, elementary school, high school, college degree, pursuing your college degree. There's things you can learn in the classroom setting. However, there are things also that you can only learn and get the fullness, it's like a haircut. You can only get the fullness of trial by fire. And some things you will not. They taught us in nursing school, but it was not until I got into the fire of actually being a nurse that I fully understood, and things that that you just cannot impart, you just cannot teach. You have to go through it in order to learn it. Yes. Tana is saying you are right. Tour is the right word. I couldn't remember the name. Yes, it's time tour. That was the name of it. Yeah. Yes, I think that actually there's actually like some type of ministry or some type of company that's what they do is put these type of things on. So yeah, you might want to follow them on your social media to see what else they got coming next, because that was very good what they put together for that. So yes, going back to prioritizing your body, our body, my body. We want to do something physical. So that could be walking, that could be battle ropes. Battle. You can use the sheets as battle ropes, and that's just you can tie the sheets to your door and just you can do this. The sheets like this. You can do the sheets like this. There's an absolute awesome guy on YouTube who does phenomenal at home battle rope routines. Um, yes, and yes, and yes. Swimming, you can swim. You can get in the jacuzzi, walk around the jacuzzi a little bit, do squats in the jacuzzi. You can do leg rolls in the jacuzzi. Like there are different forms of physical movement that you can do, and it helps just release the tension, really that could be in the body. Relaxation, like I said, sitting in jacuzzis, sitting by the water, swimming, swim laps, or you can walk the pool. You can walk, can hike. Of course, you can do walking in nature. You can do bird watching. You can go sailing. Whatever it is, find that and do that. And there's Wi-Fi everywhere now, so you can kind of work on whatever you need to work while you are out and about. Next, I want to focus on the importance of nutrition. When we're going through these tragic situations, oftentimes our appetite change. We don't really want to eat as much or the same foods. So, or maybe not at all. I know my auntie, my cousin's mom, like she used just like barely eating anything. We had to like encourage her to eat and to drink because she just didn't want it. And so I would say that absolutely for nutrition, you can focus on a healthy snack. Maybe you can cut up some cucumber. What I like to do when I get like that is cucumbers. Slice up some cucumbers, a little bit of red onion, some olives, calamari olives, and a little bit of Italian dressing. Mix that up, and that could be a very light, healthy snack. You can open up a can of tuna and put that on the side, or a can of chicken. Uh, but you can do that. Sound off in the comments and let me know what you like to eat, if anything, during a tragic situation. You can also do smoothies. You can make a smoothie with one vegetable, like greens, or spinach, or kale. Some people like lettuce, there's romaine lettuce, butter lettuce. You can do one vegetable and one or two of your favorite fruits. So you can do berries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, all the berries that are available. Um, You can do apples, just like one or two. It doesn't have to be much. If you want to, if you are just really struggling with eating, the nurse in me would say put a scoop of protein in there, and there you go. You can drink on that during the day. You can also do juicing. If you have that available, or nowadays they have those juice shops, Jamba Juice, right there. You can go in there and get you a smoothie if you don't want to make it, or you can get it can be a little bit pricey, but it's worth it. A green juice, in there with an immunity shot or a shot or energy shot. Or like I said, you can have you some small snacks available, almonds, vegetable tray. I love to have a vegetable tray handy. Some of them have the fruits and vegetables in there, like grapes, broccoli, carrots. Some of them have like turkey, cheese, and crackers in there. So yes, and yes, and yes, you want to keep up with nutrition. Now, other people go to the exact opposite, and they just want to eat and eat and eat. And so it just depends on the person. But yeah, sound off in the comments and let me know what you like to eat, if anything, when you're going through a tragedy, and what you do to keep your nutrition up. Okay. So here's a faith quote. We're moving on to the next segment. I'm gonna try to get through this. Oh my God, it's already 3:15. I hope can get through all this. If not, is this gonna be a part two of this? I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through all this. It's gonna be a part two next week. I'm not gonna be. I got 5 more, 5 more index cards. So I might have to. Um, I definitely will have to break this up into 2 segments, which is probably good. Um, Comfort food is usually a go-to for me, but that can be bad for you. Too much fat and sugar. So that would be important to watch out for. Absolutely. She's making an absolute valid point. We do have to be careful and be mindful. Um, yes, and yes, and yes. Be careful, be mindful of our intake. Um, but if you're doing it like once a week, if you're doing it in moderation, the good book says to do all things in moderation. So if you are having that, it's good to do it in moderation. And then if you know that, you might want to go on an extra walk or add in some type of extra physical activity to balance out what is going on. Yes, healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. Yes, and yes, and yes. Thank you so much for saying that. So next we're gonna move on to yeah, we did that. So faith quote, faith quote, faith quote. Going through tragedy, you have to have a degree of faith. Some of us have more faith than others, but even if we have a grain seed, mustard seed faith, all of us have a little bit elevate degree of faith. Our faith may be on trial, our faith may be a little shaky. Like I said, it may be of a mustard seed faith, but there's always an element of faith. Um, and you may be holding on. Some people say, I feel like I'm holding on by the skin of my chinny chin, but all of us have that in us, and the Lord is faithful. So, my faith quote to you and what I would encourage to give you is blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. And that is in Matthew, the 4th chapter. Again, the faith quote for today is blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. And mourning, and not necessarily in this case, for me, it's a loss, but for you, you may be mourning the loss of something else, the loss of a marriage, the loss of a job, the loss of a pet, the loss of something. There's so much loss going on, and people are losing all kinds of things and places. So, whatever type of mourning we are walking through, standing through, pressing through. The Lord promised to comfort us during those times, and that is so comforting to know that He will comfort us um, during our difficulties, during our adversities. And for that scripture, and He said that we are blessed. So in the midst of difficulty, we can receive a blessing. In the midst of tears, we can receive a blessing. In the midst of heartbreak, we can receive a blessing. In the midst of disappointment and despair, we can absolutely receive a blessing, receive refreshing, receive strength. And a lot of times I hear people say, and it's true, and I've said it, I can't do this. I can't, this is too much for me. Exactly. We're at the end of our own rope. When we come to the end of our own rope, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all cultures, natures, tongues, and creeds, when we come to the end of our own rope, that's when the grace of God steps in. That's when the mercy of God steps in. That's when the hand of God begins to move. When we come to the end of our own rope, ability, resumes, gifts, talents, know-how, resources, then he is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and He begins to move and take over, so to speak, and do things that look impossible, seem impossible. Yes and yes and yes. Here, Taylor's saying another thing. I am glad you're planning to do a part two. This is an important topic and will be very helpful for so many people. I hope that the word can get out and the algorithm will spread this as content that people will want to hear and see. And the only way that happens is the algorithm judges on what information, content to push out by how it is engaged with by the viewers. So engagement meaning comment, like, share, click on the links that are in the description. Like, you gotta find a way in your own way to interact with the content. Um, Commenting is good. Like I said, sharing. If you don't want to, blast stuff out on your social media links, I would say just send a link, text a link to a friend or somebody that is going through this or going through some type of tragedy. Okay? All right. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize I had so much, and I have a special tribute to my cousin. Um, I'm going to stop right here. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm not gonna be able to get through all this. I can see that, right? When I was putting it together, I didn't think it would be that long, but I still have Nourish Your Soul. I still have self talking about more self care during the tragedy. I still have the special tribute. His life mattered regarding my cousin. I still have prayer for you, be steadfast. I think I'll end with that one. Prayer for you, be steadfast. Um, yes, so yeah, I'll end with that. I'll end with this one because, like I said, I still have more, and I don't want to rush it. I have not been sleeping good very well, and so I need to try to lay down before I go to work tonight. But I pray. My prayers for you, um, if you're watching this, if somebody shared this with you, this link with you, some kind of way you stumbled across this particular live, my prayer for you is that in the midst of any tragedy that you may be going through, that you may be mourning the loss of, that the Lord would lay His hand and rest His hand mightily upon you to guide you to strength, to courage, to resources, to help, that He would download answers to you, that He would open up doors that no man could open and shut doors that no man can close. And that you in this hour and in this season would be steadfast, that you would be unmovable, that you would always abound in the work of the Lord, even in your darkest hour, even when it seems as if there's no strength left in you. You don't know how. I pray that the Lord would surround you. Come close. I pray that the Lord would surround you with people who know how to do the thing that you may not know how to do. I pray that the Lord would surround you with abundant resources. You looking in your hand, you like the widow with the mite. You looking in your hand and saying, all I got is this. But you serve the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And he said, the silver and gold belong to him. He said, 1,000 cattle on a hill belong to him. And so I pray that he would absolutely begin to surround you with the people that have the resources you need as you stand fast, unmovable, that those things will begin to come into your hand. I speak life to you. I speak anointing to you. I speak refreshing to you. I speak help to you. I speak divine answers to you. I speak courage to you, because it takes courage to stand. It takes courage not to give up. It takes courage not to throw in the towel. And so I just speak courage to you, and I love you with the love of the Lord. Know that you are in my prayers. You are in my thoughts and prayers always. My social media folks are always in my thoughts and prayers. And so let's pray for each other. I'm praying for you. You pray for me. And together we will move forward in prayer to see what the end is going to be. Because the Lord holds our future. And he is too wise to make a mistake. So I invite you to come back next Monday for part 2 of this self-care essentials, nurturing your mind, body, and soul in times of tragedy. Come on back. Perhaps the Lord will add more to this, but like I said, we still got plenty. We still got plenty right here. So I pray that this has been a blessing to you, that this has been an encouragement to you, empowerment and elevating. You go with God, and God will certainly go with you. I love you. Till next week. Bye-bye.